Earlier days, people would stay for 1 month, they had full time. Yeah. So, Vedic culture is not like so much of struggle for existence. We find even Mahapurush's time, 1 month they would take to go from Bengal to Puri. 4 months of Chaturmas they would stay there.
Yeah.
And 1 month to come back. How many months have passed?
6.
And 6 months for occupation, 6 months for Harikatha. Such a nice time, right? Still people say, oh, so many sufferings were there previously. Through our advancement of science, we have removed the sufferings. Loknath Maharaj was telling that when he was small, so that time one doctor would come once in a week in nearby 7-8 villages. And sometimes he wouldn't find a single patient in 7-8 days. And he's saying now we have a big hospital in our village.
Every street there is a clinic.
So is this improvement? So we have to really ask whether people are becoming happy.
In the 6th verse it said this Vaishishthita program of work. What's that exactly?
Which is Krishna's cha. So what is his program of work? That means what is Krishna going to do now?
Future plan.
Future plans. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj just wanted to act like an instrument in the hands of Krishna. So he wanted to rule the way Krishna wanted to rule. Krishna wanted him to rule. Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted to rule till Krishna wanted him to rule. So he wanted to know about the plans of Krishna. What is Krishna going to do next? Abhi devarsinadishtah sakalo yamupastitah yadatmano angam akridam bhagavan utsisrikshati.
Is he going to quit his earthly pastimes, as Devarshi Narada indicated, as the time already arrived?
So this was his main suspicion. So his suspicion was that as Narad Muni had predicted, so maybe Krishna is going to depart. So he was really suspecting. So has that time come? And now we will see his gratitude. Yasmana sampado rajam dara prana kulam praja asam sapatna bujayo lokas sayad anugraha.
From him only all our kingly opulence, good wives, lives, progeny, control over our subjects, victory over our enemies, and future accommodations in higher planets have become possible. All this is due to his godless mercy upon us.
Yeah. So we find that in general, whenever some miseries come in the life of the devotees, how do devotees respond to it? What is that famous verse? Okay, this is going to come in 10th canto later on. Tatte nukampa susamekshemano onjan vivat mukritam vipakam hidvagapur vidhanamaste jivatyo mukti padesataya. So whenever miseries come in the devotees' lives, what they say, tatte anukampa, this is your mercy, my dear Lord. Susamekshemano, and whatever miseries I had in my life, you made it very, very small. I deserve much more. Bhunjar evatmakatam vipakam. And he just accepts them as Krishna's grace. Hridavag vapur bhed. By his heart, hrid, vak means his words, vapu means his body. Vidadha namaste. He prays to the Lord. So such a person becomes rightful heir to the claim of his father. That means he deserves to go back to Godhead. One who does that. So that happens whenever there are miseries. But even when there is opulence, devotees consider even that opulence also as the mercy of the Lord. Why? Because they don't see that they are anyway separate from the existence of the Lord. For them, there is no Krishna means there is no life. We can't live. So, mad chitta, madgat pran. Madgat pran means that devotees put pran, the life in their bodies, for the pleasure of Krishna. That's all. That means, if there is no service to Krishna, there is no question of living. Let us die. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the example of annagat pran. Annagat pran means there are people who
Their life is
they live to eat, not eat to live. They live to eat. That means morning till evening they are just meditating on what are going to eat next. And if you say them fast, fasting means dying. Fasting is dying. It's death. So similarly, Madgat Pran means Krishna says, my devotee, he holds the life breath in his body for the sake of my service. If service is not there, he would say, I can't live. So that is how for devotees, where it is wife, life, progeny, control, everything is just meant for Krishna's pleasure. That's all. So he can't imagine to live without Krishna. There's no possibility. There's nothing like, oh, this is for Krishna, this is for myself. Initial days it may be different. Sometimes even devotees do some sort of demigod worship thinking, oh, bhakti is for Krishna, for mental prosperity we have demigods. Sometimes in India they do that. So what a devotee understands, for him, there is nothing separate from Krishna. Pandavas also worship demigods, but because Krishna had instructed them. Go and get Pasupati Astra from Lord Shiva. Arjuna did tapasya for Lord Shiva. Go to heavenly planets and get different weapons from there. Arjuna went there. So for devotees, there is nothing separate from Krishna. Their whole life is meant for Krishna's presence. So it's not that, no, this is for me and this is like for Krishna. For me, everything belongs to Krishna only. So, of course, this is one perspective. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati would say, those who are my disciples, even if they are grastas, if I tell them to immediately give up their family, job, wife, everything, and come and build this Gaudiya Math, they will leave everything and come and build Gaudiya Math. That means those who have ability to do that are my disciples. Others are not my disciples. So for a devotee, so they maintain even family, wealth, job, everything, because that is meant for pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Because Guru and Krishna has spoken. Because they have told to maintain them. They don't have something separate from Krishna. So for them, everything is related to serving Krishna only. There's nothing separate. Somebody can read this like very good purport.
Material prosperity consists of a good wife, good home, sufficient land, good children, aristocratic family relations, victory over competitors, and by pious work, attainment of accommodations and the higher celestial planets for better facilities of material amenities. These facilities are earned not only by one's hard manual labor or by unfair means, but by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Prosperity earned by one's personal endeavor also depends on the mercy of the Lord. Personal labor must be there in addition to the Lord's benediction. But without the Lord's benediction, no one is successful simply by personal labor. The modernized man of Kali Yuga believes in personal endeavor and denies the benediction of the Supreme Lord. Even the great sannyasi of India delivered speeches in Chicago protesting the benedictions of the Supreme Lord.
You must be knowing that sannyasi, very popular. Yes. Please continue.
But as far as Vedic Shastras are concerned, we find in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam the ultimate sanction for all success rests in the hands of the Supreme Lord. Maharaj Yudhishthira admits this truth in his personal success, and it behooves one to follow in the footsteps of a great king and devotee of the Lord to make life a full success. If one could achieve success without the sanction of the Lord, then no medical practitioner would fail to cure a patient. Despite the most advanced treatment of a suffering patient by the most up-to-date medical practitioner, there is death, and even in the most hopeless case, without medical treatment, a patient is cured astonishingly. Therefore, the conclusion is that God's sanction is the immediate cause for all happenings, good or bad. Any successful man should feel grateful to the Lord for all he has achieved.
So that is how it's like seeing Krishna's hand in each and everything. So fruits are not given by us, it's like given by Krishna. Once what happened, there was one man, every day he would go up and down by a local train for his job. So in the railway station, there was a beggar. So this fellow would every day give like 20 rupees to this beggar. So this continued for almost like a year or so. After an year, he made a 20 into 10. And this beggar was like so curious. He thought maybe another 10 rupees note would come. It didn't fail. So he thought maybe he is not having much money today. Again, second day he gave 10 rupees. Still he tolerated. Then third day. So he was very curious. Earlier he used to give 20 rupees. Why you are giving 10 rupees now? So he was saying, earlier I was 1, now we are 2. I got married. So 20 became 10 now. And then this continued almost for a year. And then 10 became 5. He said, why it became 5? I got kids. So now it has become 5. And beggar was like, only 5 rupees now. Again after 2 more years, it became 2 rupees. And this fellow said that now I got 2 kids. And this beggar was so furious. He was saying, are you not ashamed that you are running your family by the money of a beggar? You are cutting down my quota and you are running a family by the money of a beggar. Now one who begs, he can't claim that no, you are bound to give me this much money. So similarly, for us, as far as results are concerned, results are not in our hands, we can just endeavor. Whatever Lord may give, it is just a mercy of the Lord. But when we are very habituated to accept that mercy as if no, it is our rightful claim, then what happens is, then we say, oh, I worked so hard, I didn't get this result, that result, and people start blaming the Supreme Lord. Why is Lord doing this to me? It doesn't belong to you. If you get it, it is Lord's mercy. So that's called illusion of being a doer. I am the doer. I deserve it. So we all are like that beggars. Pasyotpatan narvyagra Vidivyan bhuman sadaikan Darunan samsato adura Bhayam no buddhi mohanam. Please read translation.
Just O man with a tigers strength, how many miseries due to the celestial influences, earthly reactions and bodily pain, all very dangerous in themselves, are foreboding danger in the near future by deleting our intelligence.
Yeah. So I am able to see fearful omens. So we will see them one by one. So verse number 11 is omens from body.
Can I ask something before? So it said here, the Lord left his body means that he left again his plenary portions in the respective dhams as he left his Virat room in the material world. What does this mean that he left his plenary portions in the respective dham?
Okay. So you are reading this from?
Page 720.
Which verse you can tell?
8.
8th verse. Anyway, I don't have to go to that verse. I'll just tell. So, what basically is spoken is, whenever Krishna appears in this world, all other incarnations, they come as a witness. Yeah. So they enter in Krishna's body to relish the pastimes of Krishna. So this there in Uddhav Sandesh by Rupa Goswami. So that's why when Lord disappears from this world, all other planetary portions, they also go to their respective abodes.
They own abode.
Their own abode, like Narsimdev, Varadev. So they all come to relish Krishna's pastimes by entering in Krishna's body.
Oh, even they come.
See, Mahavishnu is so attracted to Krishna and Arjuna that he stole the sons of Brahmanas just for the purpose of taking darshan of Arjuna and Krishna. So that's why Krishna is so attractive that he becomes attracted to himself. What to say of other incarnations becoming attracted to Krishna? Whenever Krishna looks at his face on the jewel-laid pillars of Nanda Bhavan, he becomes attracted to himself. So what to say of others? So all the incarnations become very attractive. Okay. So we had done till 10th, na? Now 11th. पूर्व अक्षी बाहवो मह्यम स्फुरन्ति अंग पुना पुना विपतुश्चापि हृदये आराधस्यन्ति विप्रियम. Please read.
The left side of my body, my thighs, arms and eyes are all flaring again and again. I am having heart palpitations due to fear. All this indicates undesirable happenings.
Yeah. So these are all like omens. So if quivering is there in the left side of man's body and right side of woman's body, then it is considered inauspicious.
Like Rama's story, Sita.
Left. Yeah. And for women it is other way around. It's like for auspicious it is other way around. If right side is getting quivering for man and left side for woman, then that is considered very, very auspicious. So this is an indication. So by certain indications one can learn what is going to be auspicious and inauspicious. And we find throughout Bhagavatam such things are there. Nowadays people many times don't believe, even our devotees don't believe in them. But these are all Vedic evidences. We find when Krishna was in the coils of Kaliya, similar things happened in Vrindavan also, to show that something inauspicious is happening in Vrindavan. And there is heart palpitation due to fear. So this shows that something. So Prabhupada writes these undesirable things are compared to forest fire. So calamities in this world are inevitable. But one thing is they are indicative of something inauspicious, and it is like a future prediction where one can take some action. Like when Kansa was going to be killed that day. So he was seeing a lot of inauspicious omens. Dogs, the asses were urinating. They were circumambulating him towards the left side. So not right side, left side. It's like anti-clockwise. So then he was seeing all these inauspicious omens. Now if he wanted, he could have surrendered to Krishna at that time. He could have surrendered to Krishna at that time. Ravana also saw all these omens before going to the final day war. He could have surrendered to Krishna at that time. So that is how certainly omens are like predictive of the future, but then it is possible to do something. So then one should do that. Like if they say weather prediction that it is going to rain today, we can't stop the rain. But we can carry an umbrella with us. So that is how we can do certain things about it. And that is why these omens are not like useless, they are useful. And one thing can always be done. What can be done?
One thing like here in general, how somebody will understand that these omens are for me only, not for others. Like how in here as it is right now, maybe the next person.
Yeah. Now see Jacob's crying and all these
Yeah,
things.
Jacob's crying.
Vomiting fire.
Here every day they are crying,
Yeah.
morning and evening. So bad things are going to come.
Yeah, so because
And this howling, I don't know whether it is a natural voice or it is really crying.
because here we see.
We have this verse, Tarkil Sangal Sange Bhehu Bhehu Kari. So Bhehu Bhehu is anyway there is natural. So is it really called crying? Like dogs when they bark and then they cry, you will find a difference in sound.
Cry is different.
So cry is like, oh, so they cry like that. Bhaum, 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 and bark different. Similarly, we have to know the psychology of jackals also. Not a jackal speaking, a jackal is crying.
Yes, dog and everything.
I have heard.
This one.
So crying is different and it is different. It's not like same.
That's one part also. The another part of how we understand this is
Whether it is personal or general.
general.
Now we have to go into all these details. There are big, different science. Science on that. Science of dreams, science of omens. So those who are karma kandis are very expert in that. Like each omen doesn't have the same meaning. So I don't want to go into detail because I'm not having karma kanda class here. But
did you mean to say that those that are into karma kanda, they're expert in Nimatavyana?
yeah. So they know a lot about each of these omens.
Why?
Because they do have an effect.
But why is it that only they are the ones that are mainly...
No, we can know that, but what I have observed is these people, they are too much concerned about it, so they really read it very nicely.
Oh, because they're into future activities.
Yes.
So they feel like these things will affect them more.
Yes.
Whereas those that...
No, they will affect each one of us, but they are very interested in these things. Like Bhagavatam is available for everyone. Why few devotees are doing Bhakti Vaibhav class here? Because all of you are interested in Bhakti. Outside people are not interested. So similarly, they are very interested in these things. So I belong to one such family. We are like, you can say, Marwadis of UP. So really, like, if you are eye twitching, right eye twitching means somebody is remembering you. Left eye twitching is, that means somebody is speaking ill about you. So for each and everything, dreams also. Somebody is eating stool. That means one is going to get a lot of wealth. somebody washes away stool, that means you are going to lose wealth.
How do you know which are women's, which are superstitions?
Actually, in this what we call Jyotish Shastra. Jyotish Shastra, all these details are given. So there are a lot of books of Jyotish Shastra which are released every year. So there you will find 1 or 2 pages describing all these things. And those who are like Karma Kandi, they really read them very thoroughly. And they talk a lot about it. I saw this in dream today, I saw that in dream today. It's really something you see just before Brahma Muhurta, just before getting up. That is certainly going to be true. What you see in night time is not considered very serious. So there is a big science, different sciences there. So we may know that, but we should not be like too much absorbed in that, because we have to be absorbed in Krishna. Like astrology also, astrology is a science. Which Prabhupada would say that no, devotees can use it, but for crucial things, not like for each and everything.
Is this nimitta gyan? Is this nimitta gyan?
Yeah. So little bit is okay, but not like too much. Some people are too much concerned about it. Like I went in one Marwadi's place, I was taking prasad, and then he was telling that, Prabhu, in which direction do you look at when you take prasad? I said, I look at other devotees. So he was not wrong. He was telling if you have no eastern, look at eastern direction, this effect is there. So different effects are there. So they are not wrong. But main thing is, if your whole day and life is just concerned about auspicious and inauspicious, then where is the question of thinking about Krishna? Because when we take prasad, we are supposed to meditate that saliva of Krishna mixed in the prasad.
Yeah.
Not meditating upon which direction, what will happen, what are the consequences. And no, you take prasad and keep on looking at the omens here and there. Then where is Krishna being Krishna conscious? So certain things to some extent good, but excessive concern for that will take away our Krishna consciousness. So Gyan Karmadi Anavrita. So Gyan and Karma should not cover our bhakti. If they are substitute to our bhakti, that is okay. They are substitute to bhakti, it's okay. But they should not be too much like so much concern that they cover our bhakti. So that is main thing. Svay sodyantamadittam abhiroti analanana mamanga sarameyoyam abhirev bhati abhiruvat. Please you translate.
Just
say, O Brahma, how the she-jackal strikes at the rising sun and omits fire, and how the dog barks at me fearlessly.
We all are omens are there. Now see, main thing is Yudhishthira Maharaj is seeing all these omens. He understands the consequences, but what is he relating them to? Disappearance of Krishna. Disappearance of Krishna.
Oh, Krishna, disappearance.
So that is why main thing is we may know all these sciences, we may use these sciences, but all these sciences are ultimately meant to make us more Krishna conscious.
shall I say one comment too? The Prabhupada is writing undesirable happenings in life cannot be checked by any number of plans. So only we can depend upon the mercy of Lord, even with such moments.
See, main thing is we can plan for the future by seeing all these omens, but ultimately it should lead us to take more shelter of Krishna. That is the result. Like I told that we may not be able to stop the rains. Rains are predicted.
Yeah.
But we can always carry an umbrella to save ourselves. So this is also exact example which I had from Prabhupada.
Astrology.
Out astrology. So astrology Prabhupada says you can't stop the rains, but you can always carry an umbrella. So same thing here also.
Right.
So it's not like useless science as such. Like initial days I remember Dayaram Prabhu was telling us that at a time when devotees would match the horoscope, they would see that no, boy is a good book distributor, girl is a book distributor, let them get married. But that is nowhere a Vedic criteria for getting married. Getting married, no, you have different 36 qualities are there, gunas are there. If they match nicely, then they can get married. Not that no, he is a book distributor. Because ultimately they are not coming together for book distribution. If they are coming together for book distribution, that's okay. But if they are coming together to have a family, then you have to see whether these their mindsets are matching or not matching. Not that no, he is a book distributor, she is a book distributor. Let them get married. If both are book distributors, who will cook? So it's not useless, but at the same time, too much dependence